Okay, so this is going to be our video for elementary statistics. In it, we're going to discuss mode, mean, median, range, variance, and standard deviation. Okay, so these are all things that we learn besides variance and standard deviation. These are all things we learned way back in like sixth and seventh grade. Okay, so here we've got, pretty clear and simple example. So six weird little girls decide to see how many bags of hot Cheetos they can eat in 10 minutes. These are their findings. So Jocelyn ate 20, Alyssa ate 34, Aaron ate 36, Abby ate 50, Erilyn ate 20, and Ilsa ate 38. Right? So first thing we're being asked is, what is the mode value of Cheeto bags eaten? Well, Abby takes the cake here, right? So the mode, and actually, brain fart. Okay, mode is not the biggest number. I'm thinking of maximum. Mode is the value that occurs the most, right? So Jocelyn and Erilyn, right, uh, both have the mode value of bags eaten because they have the value that repeats the most, right? So the mode value would be 20 in this data set. Okay, so it's really easy to confuse those, right? Just remember, mode is most repeated, right? The most frequent or the most repeated. Okay, so what is the mean value? The mean value is a fancy way, well, a simpler way of saying the average, right? And of course, we know to get the average, you add all the values up and divide by how many, right? So that means we're going to do 20 plus 34 plus 36 plus 50 plus 20 again plus 38. And when we add all that up, take a calculator and do this real quick. So 20 plus 34 plus 36 plus 50 plus 20 plus 38. And we divide that by 6. Okay, we get a mean, right, or mu. You'll see it abbreviated with the Greek letter mu. We get a mean of 33 bags, right? So on average, right, between these six kids, 33 bags of hot Cheetos is eaten in 10 minutes, which is pretty, this is all pretty insane. Okay. Median is kind of like the middle value, right? So we have six, so there's a problem with that. But to figure this out, first of all, we need to arrange them in ascending order from left to right. So the lowest value is 20, and then we have 20 again. And I'm going to separate these with little lines, stay organized here. And so that takes care of this and this. Okay, the next one up would be 34. And the key to doing this is organizing the actual data set. Then we've got 36. Then we've got 38. And then we've got 50. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we would do is just kind of work our way towards the middle, right? So 1, 2, oh, we see that we've got two numbers here in the middle, right? So when we have two median values, right, because in this case we do, what we do is find the average between them. So I'm going to add 34 plus 36 and divide that by 2, right, which is just the midpoint between the two. And of course, we're going to get 35 is equal to the median value. Okay, that just means that would be the middle value. Okay, then we have what's called the range. The range is just the distance between the lowest value and the highest value. So our range is obviously, right? If I call this x1 and x6, our range is obviously 30. So our range is 30. Okay. And, just a little side note, distance from minimum to maximum. Okay. Now, we are going to get into what's called variance and standard deviation. So variance is the most complicated thing to actually figure out. So we're going to come back here, and I'm going to give you a chance to copy down this formula. So variance, and I'm not going to do this example because this example would take a little bit too long. But variance is basically just calculating how much each value differs from the average. Okay, so that's why we see mu minus each value, and we take that and we square it, right? And then we do that with every single value, and we add them all up. That's what this big sigma symbol here means, right? It's the sum, summation. We add them all up and then divide by how many that there is, and that gives us our variance value. Okay, so V is equal to, so how far is 20 from our average, right? So it's 13, and 13 squared is 169. Okay, and then we get 169 again, so plus 169. Okay, now 34, right? So that's only one away, and 1 squared is 1, so plus 1. Then 36, that's only 3 away, so plus 9, because 3 squared is 9. 38, that's only 5 away, 5 squared is 25. And 50, 50 is, how far is that away? 17, and I'm not sure. I think I know 17 squared, but I'm not sure. Yeah, 289. So 50 is 17 away from our average of 33, right? And 17 squared is 289. So we're going to add these values all up. So 169 plus 169 plus 1 plus 9 plus 25 plus 289. And we're going to divide by n, which is 6. Okay, so we're dividing all of this by n, which is 6. And we get that our variance is about 110.33. Okay, so our variance here would be 110.33. Well, then we come into what's called standard deviation. Okay, so standard deviation, and we'll refer back to this formula, is simply the square root of the variance. Okay, so standard deviation is the more important of the two, right? But you can't have the standard deviation without the variance. Anyway, so sigma is equal to the square root of 110.33, right? So I'm going to do that. So square root of, copy and paste my number, we get approximately 10.50. Okay, and what that means is every one of these values on average, here, 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 and here, every one of these values on average deviates from the mean by about 10.5 bags of hot Cheetos. Okay, so in a nutshell, that is elementary statistics. Goodbye.